Okay, meanwhile, let us revise what all we have seen in the previous class. So, in the previous class, we started with multi-stage amplifier, and what we have discussed is when we go for multi-stages, the advantage we have is we can have higher gain. Can have higher gain because the overall gain is equal to the multiplication of the individual gains. And we have seen a small example where 5 millivolt was converted into 12 volt by using 4 stages of amplification. And the other important thing that we have discussed is that we also go for multi-stages for impedance matching. However, when gain increases, the bandwidth reduces. Bandwidth is simply the difference between the higher cutoff frequency and the lower cutoff frequency. So this is your higher cutoff frequency, and then this is the lower cutoff, higher cutoff frequency, lower cutoff frequency. This is for one stage FC2. So when we have n number of stages, each stage having a cutoff frequency of FC2. I repeat, we have n number of stages where each stage has a higher cutoff frequency of FC2. Then the overall higher cutoff frequency is given by FC2 is square root of 2 power 1 by n minus 1. In the later classes, we will see this in detail. For now, what I want you to understand is that the higher cutoff frequency reduces as n increases, and as a result, the overall bandwidth reduces. So what happens here is, although gain increases, the bandwidth reduces when we go for large number of stages of amplifier. Okay, so this is what we have seen in the previous class. Now, let us discuss the classification of amplifiers. So, there are different classifications of amplifiers depending on number of stages. First, depending on number of stages, if you have only one stage, it is single stage amplifier. Have more than one stage, it is multi-stage amplifier. So only one transistor circuit. You have a circuit in which you have only one transistor circuit, then it is single stage amplifier. However, if you have multiple transistors, then it is multi-stage amplifier. So classification based on the number of stages. Next, classification depending upon the mode of operation. Here we have different classes of amplifiers: class A, class B, class C, class AB. Now, in order to understand this in detail, let me show you the graphs corresponding to class A. In class A, when the input is complete sinusoidal signal, the output is also a complete sinusoidal signal. However, in class B, when the input is a sinusoidal signal, the output you get is only half cycle. You don't get both the positive half cycle and negative half cycle. You get only one half cycle. That is class B. Class C is less than half cycle. If I give input a sinusoidal signal, the output is just one small part of the positive half cycle. That is class A. Now, if we discuss this in terms of conduction angle, so it is like this. Class A, say this is 0, then 180 degrees, then this is 360 degrees. The conduction angle is entire sinusoidal, means entire 0 to 360 degrees. We say that the conduction angle for class A is 360 degrees. However, in class B, the conduction angle is only 180 degrees because we have only one half cycle. So it is only one half cycle. So based on the conduction angle, we have classifications: class A, class B, class C. We have one more, class AB. See, class A conduction angle is 360 degrees. Class B 180 degrees. So class AB will have conduction angle greater than 90 degrees, will have conduction angle in between A and B. So class A, we have discussed full both positive and negative half cycles. Class B is only one half cycle. So class AB will be this plus a small amount of the negative half cycle. That will be class B amplifier. Okay, so what I have told you, let us discuss again. Class A, the biasing conditions in class A power amplifier such that the collector current flows for the entire AC signal applied. So I'm going back to the next slide. The collector current will flow for the entire cycle. Next, for class B, the collector current flows for half cycle of the input AC signal. So collector current will flow here only for half cycle, doesn't flow for the negative half cycle. So blue color indicates it flows, gray indicates it doesn't flow. So class C amplifier is less than one half cycle. Class B is for one full half cycle. Class C is for less than one half cycle. Means the conduction of the collector current will be for very small duration compared to class B, because class B is for full half cycle, whereas class C is only for less than half cycle. Okay, next, last, class AB. Class AB power amplifier is one which is created by combining both class A and class B in order to have all the advantages of both the classes. Okay, now, first of all, why we need this classification? Okay, first let us see class A. If we see class A amplifier, whatever is the input, it is amplified and we are getting at the output. We are getting full signal. We are getting the full input signal. It is actually very much desirable that we get the full signal. For example, I am speaking. Now that signal will be in terms of an electrical disturbance. If I amplify that electrical signal and feed it to a loudspeaker, then I get voice amplification. And this is how your mic and your loudspeaker works. Mic converts the voice into electrical signal. Then you have amplifier. At the output of amplifier, you connect loudspeaker and you hear a loud voice. Okay, class A is very much desirable. But the problem with class A amplifier is the efficiency is very less. The efficiency, we will see that in detail in the coming classes. The problem is efficiency is very less. Hence, what is done is we go for higher efficiency, but we don't get all the details in the message signal. We just take some details and then we amplify that. The problem is distortion is high. The advantage is that the efficiency is high. So that is class B. To get further efficiency, we go for class C. To take the advantages of both class A and class B, we go for class AB. In the coming classes, we will see that in detail. For now, classification of amplifiers based on the mode of operation. Can anybody tell me what is biasing? Why do we need biasing? I repeat, can anybody answer what is biasing and why we need biasing? Yeah, Soumya, can you hear me? Soumya 490, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what is biasing? You remember, have you studied what is biasing? Yes or no? Just tell me, you remember it, yes or no? Soumya 493. Yeah, please give answer. I can't hear you. Please turn on your microphone and tell me.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So see, it is like this. In order for the transistor to work as an amplifier, you need to bias it. Okay. So preferably, when we bias in the center of the active region, we get full faithful amplification. Means you get both input as well as output. Uh, say you have both the cycles amplified. If we go for biasing in the center of the active region. If we bias the transistor at the cutoff, then we get only one half cycle. If we bias the transistor beyond cutoff, then we get less than one half cycle. So that is the reason here it is mentioned the biasing condition in class A power amplifier. In simple words, if I want this, I should bias the transistor in the center of the active region. If I want this waveform, then I should bias the transistor at cutoff. If I want this, then I will bias the transistor beyond cutoff. Okay, so that is why it says the biasing condition in class A power amplifier are such that the collector current flows for the entire AC signal applied, means we are biasing in the center of the active region. We are biasing at the cutoff. We are biasing beyond the cutoff. Here we are biasing slightly above cutoffs. In class AB, we are biasing slightly above the cutoff. Okay, then we have biasing based on coupling. Coupling is connecting different stages of amplifier. Like we have seen multi-stage amplifier. In multi-stage amplifier, what we do? We connect different amplifiers one after the other. Now, when we connect amplifiers one after the other, there has to be an interface between the two stages. For example, I have 4 stages of amplifiers. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Now, between stage 1 and 2, how I am connecting these two will determine what is the coupling. So, if I connect a resistor, a capacitor between stage 1 and stage 2, then it is RC coupling. R for resistor, C for capacitor. So here it says a multi-stage amplifier that is coupled to the next stage using resistor and capacitor combination can be called as an RC coupled amplifier. Next, if I use a transformer, stage 1, stage 2, in between these two stages of amplifier, if I use transformer, then it is transformer coupling. A multi-stage amplifier circuit that is coupled to the next stage with the help of transformer. Very easy. Okay, if I connect R and C, RC coupling. If I connect transformer between two stages, it is transformer coupling. Then direct coupling, that is coupled to the next stage directly, means without using any of the elements. We are not connecting any resistor capacitor, neither we are connecting a transformer. We are directly joining the two stages, then it is direct coupling. Okay, so then next is the type of transistor configuration. In transistor, you have 3 configurations because you have 3 terminals: emitter, base, collector. You have 3 configurations: common emitter, common base, common collector. CE stands for common emitter, CB common base, CC common collector. So based on these 3 cases, you have 3 amplifiers: common emitter amplifier, common base amplifier, common collector amplifier. So very easily understood amplifier circuit that is formed using a common emitter configuration is called as CE amplifier. Coming to CE amplifier, it is mostly preferred because it gives both voltage gain and also it gives current gain. Common base amplifier gives only your voltage gain. It doesn't provide current gain, whereas CC provides current gain, doesn't provide voltage gain. So mostly widely used among all the 3 configurations is your common emitter amplifier. Next, again we have categories in terms of the input. Okay, we have based on output. We have, like for example, output, if we have voltage gain, then it is voltage amplifier. At the output, if I have current gain, current amplifier. If the output I get power, output power greater than input power, then it is power amplifier. So when I go for voltage amplifier, it doesn't matter whether I have current gain or not. So as long as I get output voltage greater than input voltage, I say it is a voltage amplifier. I need not see or need not find out whether the current is amplified or not. Here, the main aim of a voltage amplifier is to make the amplitude of the output voltage waveform greater than the input waveform, although the amplitude of the output current may be greater or smaller than the input current. So it doesn't matter if the output current is larger than input or smaller than input. As long as the output voltage is greater than input voltage, you say it is a voltage amplifier. Now, if you have understood this statement, anyone please tell me what is a current amplifier? This is voltage amplifier statement for voltage amplifier. If you have understood this, you can tell me what is a current. Yes, can anybody tell me what is a current amplifier? Yes, are you able to hear me? Yes, I hope you are able to hear me. P. Nikita, can you please tell me what is a current amplifier? Okay, see what is a voltage amplifier? Voltage amplifier is the one which has output voltage greater than input voltage. It doesn't matter whether the current is large or whether the output current is larger than input current, it doesn't matter. As long as the output voltage is greater than input voltage, it is voltage amplifier. Okay, so what will be current amplifier? P. Nikita, can you answer?
The output current is greater than the input current.
Okay, good. What about voltage? What about voltage?
It may be greater or less than
Very good.
input
Now,
voltage.
now can you think and tell me what is power amplifier? See, power is voltage into current, isn't it? Okay. So, can you guess what is the requirement for power amplifier? Or when do you say an amplifier is a power amplifier? Nikita, can you answer?
If the output of power is greater than input power, sir.
Very good. See, for the power amplifier, or you say an amplifier is a power amplifier if the output power is greater than the input power. Output power is product of voltage and current, right? So if the output power is greater than the input power, we say it is power amplifier, and the current may be less, doesn't matter. Okay, the output current may be less than the input current, no problem. The output voltage may be less than the input voltage, no problem. But the output product, the product of output voltage and output current must be greater than the product of input voltage and input. Okay, that is your power amplifier. So let us see this power amplifier. The product of voltage and current at the output is greater than the product of voltage and current at the input. Either voltage or current may be less at the output than at the input, and it is the product of the two that is significantly increased. And these classes of amplifier we have seen. Okay, again in power amplifier we have class A, class B, class AB, class C, class D, class S, class F. We have so on list. We will study a few classes of amplifiers. So next, classification based on frequency range. Now, if the amplifier uh, has its frequency range in audio frequency, then it is audio frequency amplifier. Means if, see, audio, you can the frequency that you hear is in the range of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. That is your what you hear. Okay, what you are able to hear, the frequency is 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. That is your audio signal frequency. Now, any amplifier which amplifies this particular range is called as an audio frequency amplifier. Whereas if an amplifier amplifies in the radio frequency range, then it is a radio frequency amplifier. And we have again different categories in radio frequency amplifiers. Further, we have, suppose if our amplifier is in the range of 20 kilohertz to 100 kilohertz, means our amplifier is able to amplify a signal from 20 kilohertz to 100 kilohertz. Then we say that our amplifier is an ultrasonic amplifier. Such amplifiers have wide applications in ultrasonic cleaning purpose, metal fatigue detection technique, ultrasound scanning. I hope you have heard this in medical field, remote control applications. Okay, so wide applications we have for ultrasonic amplifiers. Next, again, we have DC amplifier. See, DC is, when do we say DC? We say 0 hertz or low frequency. Okay, DC stands for 0 hertz or low frequency. So an amplifier which amplifies 0 hertz frequency or low frequency, then it is a DC amplifier, and it is used in control systems and measuring instruments. Next, video amplifier. Now, I hope all of you are familiar with what a video signal is, right? Okay, the televisions or whatever the laptops that you are now viewing, these are your video signals. And usually the range of frequency is from 0 hertz to 6 megahertz. So an amplifier which can amplify this range is your video amplifier. Okay, so video amplifiers are a special type of wideband amplifiers that also preserve the DC level of the signal, because here 0 hertz is DC. Okay, suppose if it is suppose if you use some other amplifier for video and it can amplify say from 10 hertz to 6 megahertz, then it will not amplify DC. Okay, whereas an audio amplifier will amplify DC because its range of amplification starts from 0 hertz to 6 megahertz. Then, okay, preserves the DC level. Why preserves the DC level? Because it amplifies 0 hertz and are used specifically for signals that are to be applied to cathode ray tubes or other video equipment used. Okay, so CRT, your CRO, cathode ray oscilloscope, that you have seen in your lab. If you have not seen, definitely in your electronic circuit analysis you will be seeing. But however, I hope you have already seen it in your EDC lab. Okay, and these are the what are the other video signals? Your TVs, right? Even radar systems, but for different frequency range, your amplifiers, you have video amplifier. Okay, so these are the classification of amplifier. Let us quickly revise what all we have discussed so far. Okay, so classification, fine. So now I want answers. M. Bhanu. M. Bhanu, can you hear me? M. Bhanu, number 470. Are you able to hear me? Say yes or no. I repeat, M. Bhanu, are you able to hear me? Okay. Dhaneshwar, 494. Are you able to hear me? Jnaneshwar. Okay, there seems to be some problems with audio connectivity. Naveen, Naveen 491. K. Akshita.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so have you understood the classification of amplifier?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how are you classifying amplifiers?
Number of stages.
Okay, fine. See, there are different classifications of amplifiers. First is number of stages. Next, based on biasing condition. Okay, yeah. And next, based on the coupling between different stages. Based on the coupling between different stages. Okay, again, I am starting. First, based on the number of stages. Okay, that is one classification. Next classification is based on the biasing. Another classification is based on the coupling between different stages. One more classification is based on the transistor configuration. Then, based on its output, another classification. Based on the range of frequencies it can amplify. So these are the major classifications. Okay, these are the major classifications. I'm repeating first once again. If asked in the exam, what you will write is based on first number of stages, then second based on biasing condition, next third based on the coupling between stages, next based on transistor configuration, next based on output, next based on frequency range. Okay, so these are the 6 classifications of amplifiers. I hope whatever we have discussed so far is clear. I will quickly make a recap. So if you have only one stage, so okay, the first classification is based on number of stages. If you have only one stage, single stage, more than one stage, multi-stage. This is the first classification. Second classification is based on biasing condition. Means if the output is a complete replication of input, then it is class A. If the output is only half cycle replication of input, then it is class B. If the output is less than 1/2 cycle representation of input, it is class C. More than half cycle, less than the complete, okay, it is class AB. And this is what we have seen: class A, class B, class C. So if this is 0, then this is pi, then this is 2 pi, or 0, 180 degrees, 360 degrees, complete 360 degrees, only 180 degrees. This is 90 to 180. Okay, greater than 90, less than 180. Class AB will be greater than, class AB will be greater than 180, less than 360. Okay, so it is in between class A and class B, that is your class AB. Then based on coupling, we have different classification of amplifiers. RC coupled, when the stages are connected via resistor and capacitor. Transformer coupled, if the stages are connected via transformer. Direct coupled, if you join the stages as it is. Why we need to discuss all this? Because in the coming classes, we will say come across RC coupled amplifier, two-stage RC coupled amplifier. Then what you will observe is it is named so because the stages, these two stages you have, they are connected via your R and C. That is, they are connected via resistor and capacitor. So why they are named so? In order to understand that, we are having all this discussion. Next, when do you say common emitter amplifier? If the emitter terminal is common for both input and output, you say common emitter amplifier. So classification based on the transistor configuration. Okay, next, a question to one of you. N. Devender, can you hear me? N. Devender. Okay. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Good. So what is CC amplifier? N. Devender, can you tell me what is a CC amplifier? Devender, I can't hear you. Turn on. Yeah. Keep your mic in unmute. Don't mute it again until you answer. Okay. Just tell me what is CC amplifier?
That is formed using C configuration, sir.
CC. See, CC is Devender. CC is common collector. Okay. See, very easy. Why it is called common collector amplifier? Because the collector terminal is common for both input and output. Okay. Common collector amplifier. Why common collector amplifier? Because collector is common collector. Collector is common for both input and output, hence common collector amplifier. Okay, right? So if you have an amplifier with common collector configuration, means if you have an amplifier where the collector terminal is common for both input and output, it is common collector amplifier. Okay, so today's class, what we are actually focusing on is we are focusing on the terminology. Okay, right? We are focusing. Say suppose you say audio amplifier. In one of the classes, we will come across audio amplifier. Then you will be correct. Okay, it is called as audio amplifier because it amplifies any signal, or it amplifies all the signals which are in the range of 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, which are in the audio signal range. Okay, right? So in order to understand that terminology, we are having all this discussion, and also we are studying the classification of amplifiers. Okay. Next, another question for M. Akshay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is a power amplifier? When do you say an amplifier is a power amplifier? M. Akshay, don't disconnect your mic. Just tell me, when do you say an amplifier is a power amplifier?
Output current is more than input current.
Power amplifier. See, very easy. Okay. I don't think anybody should confuse. See, if output current is more than input current, then it is current amplifier. Okay, right? I don't. I will be surprised if you are confused. See, it is very easy, right? If output current amplifier, what amplifier means makes large. Simple. Okay, amplifier means it makes large, right? So current amplifier means it makes current larger. Means output current is greater than input current. Simple. Okay. So if you have an amplifier in which the output current is greater than input current, then it is a current amplifier. Okay. So now again, please tell me what is power amplifier? The same person. What is power amplifier? Yes, please tell me what is power amplifier. Hey Sailesh, 457. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell me what is power amplifier. Hey Sailesh, don't disconnect your mic. Just tell me what is a power amplifier. Yeah, meanwhile, please send me the complete attendance. I repeat, please, I haven't yet received the attendance. Please send me the complete attendance.
Now is the 9 numbers only, sir. In the class.
Okay, fine. Can you please answer what is a power amplifier? Sailesh, very simple question. What is a power amplifier?
The power amplifier.
Yeah.
We can use in a radios in a.
See, it is very simple. See, this terminology is why we are discussing all this. One of the reason is terminology. Okay, right? If the output power is greater than input power, then you say it is power amplifier. So power is voltage into voltage into current. Okay, the product of voltage into current. If the product of voltage into current at the output is greater than the product of voltage into current at the input, then the amplifier is a power amplifier. Okay, it doesn't matter if the output voltage is less, current is high. If as long as the product is greater than, as long as the product at the output is greater than the product at the input, then you say this power amplifier. Okay, so likewise we have different classification, then range of frequency. This is easily understood. Okay, if it is an audio frequency, audio frequency amplifier. If it is in radio frequency amplifier. It is in the range of 20 to 100 kilohertz ultrasonic amplifier. Okay, DC amplifier for low frequencies, video amplifiers for this range. Okay, corresponding to video signals, right? So based on the range of frequencies, we have the amplifiers. So we will end our class here. Okay, and we will continue in the next class. Thank you. So, Any confusion